Hello and welcome back to another edition of Rent Money. We got all the Rent Money boys here, Texas Pete, Old Chisholm, and yours truly, Running Back Jones, to break down another full weekend of college football. That's right, Running Back Jones, myself, is back with his head on straight this week, back in the hosting duties, which means you're just going to get more funnies out of Texas Pete. Says he's been working on a few jokes. Let us know if you know which ones they are as you're listening, if you can tell if they're the joke or not. But we got a Friday night game that we're excited about this week. Chisholm Specialty G6 Conference. You know what it is. We got some good games on Saturdays. We are going to talk about the big time losers from last week in Penn State. Texas is arch synonymous with failure. You'll find out on today's episode. And the Iowa State Cyclones go down to the Big 12. More than that, we're going to talk about the joys. We're going to leave that one open-ended. Not the movie Joy with Taylor Lawrence, but just joy itself and what it means to us, or things that give us joy. That's a Texas Pete special. And then we got Old Chisholm story time too. So as you can tell, it's a fully Herbie loaded episode, and it's going to be a good one. Before we get to all of that, we got just a really quick shout out to one of our favorite, oldest, best sponsors, the ones that have stuck with us through thin and thin, even when we toe the line, which I know we sometimes can do. Vienna Beef will always toe it with us. Vienna Beef, it's a Chicago staple for the last 125 years. It's not just a hot dog, but you guys all know it's a heritage. I would like to give a special shout out to all the alumni of Hot Dog U. Go online, take the quiz, see what kind of snap level you got, because Vienna Beef is known for that hot dog with a perfect snap. If you enjoy them like I do, I doll those fuckers up. And we put them Chicago packs online. You can get the Vienna Beef with the famous relish, celery salt, tomato, yellow mustard, pickle, onion, all the Chicago dog staples. If you hear me doing a little burp ski during this episode, just know it's because I've had Vienna Beef from like my last 3 meals. So a little Vienna Beef burp didn't hurt anybody. It's just delicious, delicious, premium Vienna hot dogs. Come on now. And now let's get to it. Woo! Fellas, Chisholm, Pete, coming to you live. You can see that Pete and I are donning our Chicago Cubs gear. Hopefully you believe, I believe. Cubs are down 2-1 of the series, but they're not out of it yet. College football episode, whatever. First 45 seconds. Pete, how you feeling about the Cubs?
I don't love the strategy of scoring all our runs for the game in the first inning, as happened in Game 3. But I am very glad that we kind of surpassed that 3-run threshold that we've kind of been stuck at throughout the playoffs.
17
Hopefully
games?
the bats come alive. Yeah. But bats coming alive would be huge. Anyone can get hot at any time. Got to win the next one at Wrigley. And then Game 5 is a coin flip.
Chisholm, on the other end of the spectrum, how's the Chisholm household knowing that your beloved Sox are no longer putting them on right foot after left foot?
Empty.
All right, well, there you have it. This week we have a lot of fun games, but you know how we roll around here at the Rent Money. We're going to start with last week and just quickly debrief some of our favorite, least favorite, some coaches we love, some coaches we hate. Where do you guys want to start? James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions going out to see our Sweet Prince, formerly Sweet Prince, get whooped. Should we start there?
I think we have to, right?
I mean, is Nico just back in our good graces? It's kind of like, what's the parable, Chisholm?
The parable is yin and the yang. It's kind of like thinking about this Mountain Dew here, founded in 1948. You know what else was founded in 1948? Israel. You have some good and you have some bad every year.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yin and the yang. What does that have to do with Nico Iamalavea?
It has to do with the fact that we have to see his dad on TV every time he plays, even though we want to see Nico.
It feels like
we want
Nico...
to see him in that. I was going to say we want to see him in the Tennessee Orange, but he's got a lot of snakes in the grass, right? And I think that goes back to the OG of all OG yin and yangs is, the good Lord allowing that serpent to be in the Garden of Eden, right? You have to allow the serpent to exist. You have to allow evil to exist in order for free will to take its full effect. And I think that you got to see free will take its full effect on Saturday.
For sure, chisel my nizzle. I thought you were gonna say the prodigal son when I threw up
That's
that
what-
parable
yeah.
for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, no,
Pete,
yeah, that's on me. My B.
Pete's just smiling over there. I thought this.
He's
this
a
is
happy
his-
camper.
I mean, Pete, you might be the biggest father figure of Nico on this podcast. The only guy that can pronounce his name correctly.
Nico, he, first of all, 168 passing yards, 127 rush yards, 5 total touchdowns. First win of the season. The prodigal son has returned. I don't want to completely say that I'm back in on him, but maybe I'll tune into their game this weekend. I don't even know who they play, but we'll see.
It was tantalizing. He had like a
Michigan
2-point
State.
conversion play where I was like, holy shit, Nico, come on now. Speaking of prodigal sons, I'd be remiss if we don't bring up Jerry Neuheisel as well. Offensive coordinator for UCLA, carried off the field. Wow, just reminiscent of the moment of him, playing starting quarterback at UCLA, getting carried off the field in one of his last starts for the Bruins. I love a full circle moment, love a Rudy moment. We only get a few carried off the fields a year, and it's rarely the backup offensive coordinator for not an unbeaten team, but a beaten team in like week 5. So that was fun to see. Maybe we flip the attention over to the Nittany Lions. Drew Aller, we talked about him extensively last week and some of his behavior off the field. Texas Pete Chisholm, what did you guys think about his behavior on it?
Chisholm, kick it over to you. I wasn't able to watch this game last weekend. I was score scoping at the wedding. You know what I mean? You look down at your phone like,
Totally.
holy shit.
Yeah. So I think the best way I could describe Drew Aller's play thus far, not just this game, but through a multitude of games. When I was 17, I was making a drive back from Adel, Iowa, which is just outside of where we grew up, a small town, growing by the day. But I was driving back and I hit what appeared to be a large raccoon with a Honda Accord, and it was large enough to the point where it cracked. It put a fairly large crack into the fender of my car. That's essentially what Drew Aller's play has looked like thus far. Is not my fender even, right? But the raccoon itself. I think that he had a lot of hopes. He had a lot of grace coming into this year. He thought he was hot shit. He talked a lot about his legs in the preseason and how he could do a lot with them. And as soon as he's tried, he got hit by a Honda Accord. I think that this would really be a full circle moment if they lost to Syracuse last year, and he would have literally lost to Honda Accord. But for the time being, Nico Iamalavea is a quarterback who has fallen from grace more than once. He's found himself retaining and regaining. He's a guy that continues to just get back up, dust himself off. He's obviously a fan of the movie Rocky. And I think we pay a little bit of respect to where it's due, but Neuhauser, or whatever his name is, the Aryan love child himself, he looked happier than anyone's ever looked. And I know that I was going to say, I feel like getting carried off the field is kind of a Make-A-Wish kid move, but in this instance, it actually looked pretty solid. I was very happy and proud of him to get that for a second time in his career.
So for the listeners back at home, back up when you said, Mr. Jones, when you said backup offensive coordinator, they fired their OC prior to this game.
Their head coach,
first game that he was
they
a play
cleaned
caller.
house. Their head coach got fired. I do not believe Neuheisel's been with the program prior to this head coach being hired. Everybody knows that he had the famous press conference where he got hired at UCLA, and they said, "Well, tell us about UCLA football." He goes, "Well, we're in Los Angeles, and
it was a really brutal
Bruins football.
interview.
It's in Los Angeles." Dude froze up. Sometimes those moments can be overmade, like the press conference screw up. There's a lot of them, but it is really funny when the coach ends up just sucking ass, and then it's like, I knew it from the jump. I could tell from the get go. But yeah, so then he's been with the program for about like 6 or 7 years now. He's a lifelong. His dad coached and played at UCLA too, I believe. He has familiar ties, and so
My wife did.
and you got to call the plays.
Who else?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I was gonna say Jackie Robinson, but
yeah, true. He did. He played
Cleaned
like every
house.
sport there. Yeah, Pete. Yeah, but he's not new to the Bruins, but this was his first time calling plays. Boy, he called plays so well that Nico's gonna leave again in the offseason. Hey, Chisholm, I got another question for you too. You said you ran over a raccoon. Unfortunate for the raccoon. Let's flip that a little bit. Hypothetical, you hit a prize trophy buck. It's dead, but minimal damage. Do you put that on your wall? Can you claim that?
have you seen the movie Tommy Boy?
I actually have not.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Wait. Wait. Timeout. Doc Rivers. Timeout. You've never seen the movie Tommy Boy?
No, yeah, I haven't seen it.
No wonder you don't think I'm funny. I based my entire personality on that movie.
Well, it doesn't mean it can't be funny. You don't have to see a movie to think that humor is funny, Chisholm. I think you're hilarious, especially when I look at you.
I mean, I would like you killed it, you know? It's
You know, a
yours.
lot of people go to college for 6 years. They're
7,
called
but
doctors.
yeah,
That's Tommy Boy. We're
Yep.
familiar with some of the bits.
yeah,
But
I
do
mean, it's
do
a
you
good
put that
movie.
on the wall, Chisholm? Is that something you
I
can take?
I mean, I don't have a lot of bucks under my sleeve. So for me personally, yeah. I don't think I'm taking it to like a taxidermist though. Like I don't think
Your
I
sloppy floppy lip, floppy
no,
head.
So what you do at that point, my
Ew,
brother's actually
no.
doing this right now. You take the skull and you bury it underground, and it essentially cleans out any of, like the actual tissue and the skin and all the fur and everything, and it kind of just gives you the fresh skull, and you can have kind of like
There
a
you go.
shed hunt mount,
Yeah.
if you will.
The only sloppy floppy head I got this year is this buck I hit on I-80.
Yeah, brother, I don't even have that. So, shout out to whoever's getting sloppy floppy head, because it ain't old Chisholm.
Oh,
Sloppy
man.
floppy is how you could describe this Texas offense so far this season, falling in a rough one in the swamp against the Florida Gators. Sark, Arch, everybody extremely pissed off. AP #1 preseason team is unranked in the 6th week after 6 weeks of the season, the fastest in history for a top ranked team to fall out of the top 25. Just absolutely can't lose game against a struggling Florida team. Run it back Jones guy, Billy Napier, might have bought himself another season off of this. I don't know. Lagway kind of looked decent, but where do you go if you're this Texas program right now? Are you thinking clean house, or are you thinking pull yourselves up by the bootstraps?
I feel like Franklin, I mean, we didn't go much into Franklin. In some ways, I feel like Franklin last year at Penn State hit his ceiling, and there is ample evidence of that. But I also think that at the same time, Penn State's ceiling is not as high as a lot of their fan base would like it to be. It just is what it is. So, but with that being said about Texas, I mean, we recently saw what Texas can be and what they could become, which is a very mediocre program at times, especially in the Big 12. You took a chance on Arch, you took a chance with Sark, alcoholism and all. And I think that they've seen, the upside of that, but there's a lot of the season left, and they got the Red River Rivalry this weekend. Long story short, look at OU, right? Mateer's maybe coming back, per Chipotle workers, and they gave their head coach, a few extra years here, and they've had some downtimes, and it's just not going to be perfect every year. Like Saban's level at Alabama, where it is perfect every year, just isn't really replicable almost anywhere. There are situations where you have a guy that, like Arch, you wish he was better, you wish he was playing up to like his potential and what people have told about him, but sometimes it's just not going to work out. They're 20-year-old kids. They still have a lot left this season to play for. They got this game that can get them back on track, and they have Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. Boom. they could rattle off a bunch of games and be playing against Georgia in another marquee top tier for the SEC championship style game. So I wouldn't say you give up on this team at all, but they definitely need to figure some things out, and whether that's moving on from Arch, which I think is going to be tough to do, or opening up the playbook and letting it go. Like protecting Arch, like they think they're protecting Arch from himself and from the program, but this conservative style of football is just ultimately doing the opposite of that.
It's not different from what we've seen in the past either. Like people have the same complaints about Ewers, if you remember. Like Quinn initially came out and he looked good. He looked a lot better than Arch ever has. I'll say that first and foremost. But the play calling has always been fairly conservative. There's a ton of screens, orbits, bubbles, you name it. A lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage. I feel like for a team that should be able to air the ball out, should be able to move it down the field. And the running back situation at Texas, honestly, is something that's not getting talked about enough. This is a team that, honestly, the last few years, like last year included, struggled to have a true RB1 and a guy that can hold on to the ball consistently, get and fight for extra yardage, make missed tackles happen, etc. And I think that's been an overlooked piece within college football specifically, are the teams that do have the elite running backs. Look at Kansas State. When they get Dylan Edwards back, they look significantly stronger than they do without him, as their loss to Iowa State would dictate, and the rest of their season unfolding, things of that nature. I feel like a team that has the ability to be multidimensional, like without the ability to have a true play action game, I think Texas is fucked, and we've seen that time and time again. But at the same time, he's played how many games? 5, 6, 7?
Arch,
Including last year? Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Like he played 2
6.
games. He started 2 last year. I still
6.5.
think it's very early. Like if I'm a Texas fan, I'm obviously upset at being told over the course of the last year, oh, you guys are preseason number 1. You're going to be natty contenders. You're a lock for the playoff, all of the things. But if I'm listening to outside noise and I'm making assumptions and I'm doing all these things before the team even steps foot onto the field, then that's my fault. If you're a fan and you're making all of these claims, these assumptions, we have a good team, like prove it. Show it to me. I'm waiting and I'm willing to see it. And that's exactly what I said at preseason when everybody was talking about Arch for Heisman and Arch round 1, first pick in the draft. And I was like, let's let the kid play football first.
Whoa.
And then we can have these conversations. I think it's honestly criminal. The Associated Press, in my opinion, can go fuck themselves for a variety of reasons, but none more so than A, they don't watch the games, and B, they don't care. Like they'll do anything they can do to get you to get more ratings, more views for whatever bullshit they're going to put out there. And of course, they're going to suck Texas's dick every single year. They have their own fucking network. Like this is a money game. And you're seeing that happen more and more as private equity starts to enter the equation now. If you're in finance and you're listening to this, hang up, grab a gun, and go find a deer, put it down, put it in your freezer, learn how to live off the land, and then you can talk to me about college football. Until then,
Or just run one over.
Put on your bullshit Patagonia vest and just remind yourself that you're just another Ponzi scheme away from having a hatchet and becoming
Chisholm,
a serial killer.
As a guy in finance, I truly believe everybody deserves to retire. But
No one deserves anything except death.
Pete, you know this all too well. Just getting built up to get torn down, right? Like that's the story of your life.
My bad.
How do you relate to Arch Manning?
I as Mr. Jones just so pleasantly alluded to, I have the privilege and opportunity to root for a handful of sports franchises that ultimately amount to nothing, as well as some items in my own personal life. So at this stage, if I'm putting myself in the Longhorn shoes, you're still at the hopeful stage. You're not quite in denial yet, but you are you're like, it's us against the world at this point, which is a good inflection point if you want to become a dangerous program, right? If you're Texas right now. Clearly you got overhyped preseason, shit happens. But that being said, you still have pieces in place that can pan out for you down the road. This is valuable experience that you're stacking on. And like Mr. Jones just mentioned, if they win this weekend against Oklahoma, they have 3 very winnable games going into Georgia, which at that point, you're running with momentum, you're running hot, and you can still find yourself in a playoff race. These guys, if I'm them, I'm not giving up. Obviously, they're not going to be giving up at any time soon, right? This is still Texas. It's 2 losses, whatever. You can get over it. But I'm not at the point, if I'm in the Texas faithful, that I'm giving up or wanting to pull for the clean house option.
Yeah, and if you're gonna clean house, buy a gun, go outside, kill a deer,
Find a fucking
live
deer,
off the land, baby.
bury
Come
the
on.
deer.
Well, don't
also
bury
just
it, but you know, like,
also just to touch
don't just kill a deer.
these
to
2
kill a deer.
losses. No,
This
of
is
course not.
this is rent money. This is rent
Raccoons?
money to the T, baby. You know, DJ Lagway was the Heisman preseason favorite. We're not even gonna give him a mention for getting the dub, but Nico, baby, our
I said
sweet
his name.
prince, 0-4. He's gonna get sloppy floppy head time from the rent money boys. Come on,
DJ got on the
Also-
NCAA 26 cover. He's fine.
Yeah,
I
he did.
do want
True.
to say, for those who listened last week, we touched very carefully on both Penn State and Texas, stated that they were ranked in the AP top 10 without a Power 4 win this season. And what comes up later that weekend, both of them lost, both of them drop out of the rankings. Just saying.
Chisholm, never wrong,
all.
only early.
I'm always early, dude. Speaking of, can I just say really quickly how good CJ Carr looks for Notre Dame? And I want my flowers.
Okay, let's dial that back.
He
Boise
looks
State.
so good, dude.
Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State.
He looked
What are we
good against
talking about
Miami
here?
and A&M.
I didn't think he looked
And those were his
particularly good
first
against
2
Miami.
starts.
I didn't think he looked that great against Miami. But if we want to nitpick right now, are you back defending Notre Dame here? Because you have to run the table in order to make the playoffs. Are you
This has
are you
nothing
putting all
to
the
do
chips
with
in the
Notre
middle?
Dame making the playoffs. This has everything to do with me talking about the guy that everyone thought
Okay.
Arch was. CJ Carr already is 2 years ahead of time.
Yeah, CJ Carr's nice. I'll be in South Bend this weekend. Watching them 2:30. Notre Dame, NC State.
Hit up the grotto.
We'll be rooting for Notre Dame. Hand up. We'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping for a CJ Carr show.
Is there
Maybe
going to be a
everybody
little bit
can
of action
wake
on that
up
game?
and watch CJ Carr steal the show.
Take it to the limit.
Iowa State, real quick. I mean, this is a team that's beatered and battered and beatered again.
Is that the Jags lady you were just pulling there?
Yeah. Actually, it was 5 minutes from the beach.
She just smells like cigarettes. You could see it through the fucking video.
She looks like she smells like Post Malone.
Dude, my impression of her, that sucks, dude. Texas Pete can't even get a read until Pete Chisholm comes in and gives the full fucking crescendo.
You quoted that video. I think it's important we call out. You quoted that video at least 4 times before this. And
Really?
I've picked it up every time, but I've just never responded. And
Dude.
it's always the steal the show.
That's the one you got dialed. Play by the rules. You can't have a newcomer.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the
Dude.
show.
This
I
is
hope
like,
she's well.
guys, you know, I need to be better. Hand up. Haven't been my best. This off season, aka between now and next week, we will get my Ed Reed impression, halftime impression, dialed in and ready to go. Texas Pete has a bachelor party next weekend, and I will have this ready to go for Texas Pete's party. Nothing better to get the troops more riled up than after 6 hours of drinking, and Texas Pete says 4 more guys. That's when it's going to be time for me to come in and give that Ed Reed energy.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you guys will have a blast, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. And how there's only one way to spend it, And that's going to be watching some college football. But I'm sure we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. Sloppy Floppy play of the week. Well, yeah, Iowa State lost. Too bad. So sad. 12, it's going to be a dogfight all year. So it's going to be fun to continue to watch that conference. Texas Tech is looking hot.
This.
Yeah, go ahead, Ches.
It's important that we talk about how good of a team Iowa State is. This game does not at all dictate their season. I've not seen a team this banged, which granted maybe is on their strength and conditioning program.
It's on the defensive end.
And that's the most important end in Big 12 football, because you're already trotting out guys that couldn't make it in every conference, right? Except yours. The Big 12 is notorious for having the worst defense in any Power 4. Back when it was Power 5 even, I'd still take a Pac-12 USC defense over any defense from the Big 12. You're a fucking embarrassment to college football. Figure your shit out. It'll make a more entertaining product for everyone. But before we continue on that, Iowa State is one of the most well-coached teams that I've seen in a long time. Do they go out and put out the most style points on the board? No, but they're going to do it in a way that is a testament to the grit, the tenacity that the people of Iowa have. And it's in a way that's completely different from the University of. This will forever be a Hawkeye State. Don't get it wrong. I'm not here to, hand a torch or a baton or anything of that nature, but I will give respect where it's due to little brother. I'm damn proud of Iowa State, and I hope that they continue to put out these prospects at the quarterback position like we've seen with Purdy. Seneca Wallace taking it way back. He obviously didn't pan out very well, but the run, what a play. Big fan of that one. And Cy. I think Cy is one of the most underrated mascots in all of collegiate athletics. There, I said it.
Yeah, anything all right, else? Good for Cy. I mean, do you want to start talking mascots about college athletics? Because I got my rankings. I
know you do.
I've heard we did this segment last year. We did both rankings for fake mascots and real ones, so we can do this again. No, let's get into Friday night. Friday night football. It's not meant to be played between Ohio State versus Texas, right? It's not meant to be played Penn State versus USC. Friday night football is for the little guy. It's for your Joe Schmo who Texas Pete, his former head coach, smacking little kids around, sophomore year of football. Jonathan Gannon getting fined. Tough guy Texas Pete thinks that's soft shit because, he had tough guy Tony coaching him up on Friday nights. But the other guys that are playing Friday night this week are USF versus North Texas with serious considerations for the G5, the G6, whatever you want to call them. Play of the week, incomer of the week. These are the Boise States of last year. Lots on the line, baby. Who's going to get into the college football playoff? We might find out Friday night. And if that doesn't get you juiced up, then I don't know what does.
100% If your circle isn't discussing the Mean Green out in Denton, Texas, you need to find a new circle because these guys are fucking electric. They're facing off with the USF Southpaws. Come on. USF already 2 ranked wins on the season. Boise State and Florida earlier on. I know neither of those programs really panned out, but still, if you're a G6 school, you put up 2 ranked wins on the season. They're 24 in the AP poll. They're not even in the driver's seat and to make their conference championship, though, because they lost to Miami a couple of weeks back when they got trounced. But that being said, the Mean Green out in Denton, Texas, since it's a Friday game, they canceled all classes for the university on Friday since they knew it was going to be a big one. They're going to put up record numbers in the stadium. And these guys they haven't had a winning season in 7 years. So this is like uncharted territory for this program. They had a handful of they had a great offense last year. They put up a ton of points. Everyone got poached to go to the Power 4 schools, which is perfectly fine. But they're running it back with the same offense. They're bringing a great offense again. Yes, they are fired up, man. And their defense has been solid too, outside of I guess that's for USF. But anyways, this one is going to be a phenomenal Friday night game. We advise every single person listening right now to tune in.
I will not. I'm going to be in Panora, Iowa, golfing for the Bootlegger Cup, which for those who are aware is the trophy of all trophies, even though it doesn't exist. It's the proverbial trophy, if you will, that matters most. But this is, if you're not, I will be tuning in for this game. Those that know me know that Denton, Texas is Chisholm personified. That's right. I said it myself. I didn't need someone to say it for me. You're on the outskirts of DFW, the concrete jungle. And for those of you who haven't been to Dallas, it is the most underwhelming, overhyped city that I have ever been to. By far the worst major metropolitan area in the country, outside of maybe New York City, because only pieces of shit live there because they cheer for the Yankees. But I will say this, Byron Brown for USF, if you can find a way to control him, then guess what, brother? You've controlled the entirety of the USF offense. He leads them in not just passing yards with 6 yards shy of 1,200 passing yards. He also leads in rushing, which would be just shy by 18 yards of 300 rushing yards on the season. He does it all for them. He's their entire offense. If they want to distribute the ball, if they want to feed the rock to anyone, it's going to have to be through him. We're rocking QB spies all night. Give me a little 4-2-5. Yeah, that's it. You get it. Denton, Texas is going to be up. It's going to be raucous. It's going to be loud. It's a crisp 82 degrees Fahrenheit predicted for game time, and a nice 4.5-mile wind gust coming out of the southeast end zone. And I expect this one to roll in the Mean Green's favor. I'm always going to rock with the Mean Green because, brother, my blood is Mean Green. Not necessarily for Denton, not necessarily for North Texas, but God damn it, I'll be ashamed if I don't mention how good the people are out there. Belton, another great place. I believe the hometown of none other than Durham Smythe, former Notre Dame tight end and former Miami Dolphins tight end, who I had the privilege of golfing with on a Thursday morning when I decided to play hooky.
That's right. That was a really big day for you.
That was a huge day. I shotgunned a beer. He said no, he did not want to shotgun one with me, but my guitar player did. So shout out to Diesel wherever he's at. He's never going to listen to this. But I'll say this.
God rest in peace, Diesel's what podcast? What the fuck was that?
We talked about
TV
Yellowstone,
show.
The Bunkhouse Boys. Yeah. We gave it
all
3
time,
tries,
dude.
and then
all time.
Dude, it wasn't his fault.
I lived with him at the
time
time too. He would have a glass of whiskey, look me dead in the eye, and say, "Jack, I guess it's time for me to go upstairs and do one of those podcasts."
And we'd do it. And here's the thing: it's not his fault. It's Yellowstone's fault. The show fucking sucked after season 4.
Fell off the deep end. It put you in a hard place.
Taylor Sheridan's out of his goddamn mind if he thinks he has anything more than just a Disney spin-off Cinerama of just dog shit. But yeah, I as someone that actually like knows people that do that for a living, it's a fucking embarrassment to the culture. And other than the music, I think it's a waste of your time. Don't watch Yellowstone.
What was this? So you were doing like a live podcast for like season 5, like you would go tape episode after episode, and all of them sucked.
So it wasn't live.
Not live, but like you would do it every single episode, like after the episode.
We would do post, because Ralph was all like, "Oh, we need more content," and I'm like, "All right, dude, like don't talk with your mouth full." And it's always peanut butter he's eating too. I don't know why, but he's always like, "They do episodes," and I'm like, "Listen, we like Yellowstone. It's been 3-4 good seasons. We'll give it a shot." Yeah. Nothing. Like I personally texted down.
Two knuckles deep. Well, Jack, it's time for me to go do that podcast.
All of that to be said, guys. All of that to be said. I feel pretty good if I'm taking a home dog at 1.5 points, -115 on the board over at looks like not DraftKings. FanDuel looks like is a sportsbook choice right now.
PokerBetStars.com.
I'm go ahead and just feel confident.
66.5 with Chisholm.
I was going to say the over and the money line.
North Texas plus 1.5. Book them. Yeah, you got the number 4th highest scoring offense in the country with USF, the number 1 with North Texas on a Friday night. If you don't bet the over on this one, brother, just give up on watching college football, go outside with a shotgun, find a deer, kill it, and live off the land, baby.
Kill it with your hands.
I don't know many things in life, but I know two. There's two things Texas does incredibly well: barbecue and Friday night football. If you think they're going to let some yuppies from Florida come up there on a Friday night and take down the Mean Green, you are out of your goddamn mind. Give me the Mean Green plus 1.5 at home. Home dogs. Keep it rolling. Season of Destiny. Let's go.
Come on now.
FNL, baby. Friday Night Lights. Texas
what-
forever.
Hey, big chiz dog. All right, let's move on to Saturday Red River Shootout. Oklahoma versus Texas. I won't say one team's a home or away. Texas is 1.5-point favorites. 43.5 over under. Chisholm, what percentage of those North Texas fans are also going to make it down for the Red River?
I'm going to say like maybe 7%.
Okay.
A, because it's a holy number. It's a holy number. But B, 93% should be absolutely blacked out drunk celebrating a ranked team victory, solidifying themselves, putting them in the driver's seat to make the playoff. I think you're looking at a potential bracket buster type of team here. These guys get me fired up. I love everything they stand for. I love their logo. UNT instead of UNC. It sounds natural, even though it's not.
Chisholm, you got this show in reverse here. We're moving on to the Red River Shootout. We got Texas versus Oklahoma. What do you think about that game?
Oh, brother, if John Mateer's playing, I'm not a fan of the Horns this week, and I have a few reasons as to why. Number one, historically, and by historically, I mean within the last decade or so, this game has not gone Texas's way. I think last year was an outlier for a number of reasons, namely because Oklahoma had a fucking dog shit team. But this year, Venables looks like he's got a little bit more in the driver's seat. I think that they've proven themselves more than Texas has up to this point. That win over Michigan, I don't care if it was against a true freshman quarterback. He's been talking out of his dick hole for the entire offseason and after every game he's played for whatever reason. I do want to say really quickly, I think Bryce Underwood is one of the most overrated true freshmen or prospects or whatever you want to call them in the country. And it's a perfect fit for the University of Michigan, which is one of the most overrated blue blood programs in the country. Call me when they win anything without cheating. I'll wait.
True.
In the meantime, this game in particular, I think it swings back Boomer Sooners' way. I feel good about Oklahoma's defense. I feel really good about John Mateer over Arch Manning. When it comes to these types of games, I always try to think about if the ball is in one of these guys' hands and they have to go down the field and make a drive happen in order to win the game, who is it going to be, or who do I feel more comfortable having the rock? It's 100% John Mateer. He's back. He's healthy, supposedly. Shout out to the Chipotle workers in Norman, Oklahoma for that insider info. Even if he is like at an 85, 90%, I still take him over Arch, who's still honestly learning about the speed of the game. He has not seen this level of speed since probably he was playing in the yard with his uncles.
Cool.
He did not see this level of speed in high school. He's adjusting, don't get me wrong, but he needs to adjust a hell of a lot faster in order to go up toe-to-toe in a rivalry game that means as much as this one. Give me Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, dude, they have so much riding on this game. I mean, not going to get too much into the gritty, nitty details, but 49-0.
Floppy.
Yeah, the sloppy floppy. That was a sloppy floppy game for Oklahoma. They lost 49-0 in 2022.
Breaking news.
Had the good win in 2023. It's a close one. 2024, 34-3. We were talking about Sark, not even on a hot seat watch, but just, how people feel about this season and the way it's going. Venables, Mateer, everything's riding on this one. You guys know I like to fire from the hip and just talk about these games with platitudes of, just, hey, this team wants it more. But sometimes it's fucking true. Some teams do want it and need it more. This is OU's year. They have everything riding. Sure, Texas's back's against the wall, but so is OU's. You can't lose 3 of the last 4, 2 of those being blowouts. They're going to be more dog hungry than anybody ever has been for this game. Mateer, Chipotle worker, he's going to be okay. Either way, I don't see Texas scoring more than 14 points.
I don't think they can against a truly well-coached Venables defense. They don't have
look at the Ohio State game. Ohio State played the most conservative, I mean, Julian Sagan's first start, right? Like, and they've opened it up since then. If they played that game again, I think that like we've seen Julian Sagan taking steps forward, and they're opening up the playbook. I think he's got 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions at this point. Now, Arch, we still have not seen the playbook get opened up. I think that game, the gap has shifted between those two teams, even than what it was on week 1. Which isn't a good sign, obviously, for Texas. But I think that Oklahoma could approach this game basically the same way Ohio State approached that game, but with a more mature, capable quarterback if Mateer plays. And the line hasn't been moving at all, Chisholm. The rumors are out that he's playing, maybe he's not. Either way, Vegas is basically saying, fuck it. It doesn't matter if Mateer plays or not because Texas will not be able to score on this OU team.
To the man they call Texas Pete, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think Texas's offense looks nothing like that of the University of North Texas Mean Green. And we're just going back to them. I'm kidding.
And this is what I like about the Mean
sloppy.
Green on Friday night.
That's what I was going for. I think it's going to be a slop fest. I got burned last week when I took Texas's team total over 20. Not a slop fest, but I just don't think it's going to be high scoring. The total's at 43.5 points. And I love a good defensive matchup in this game. That'd be great. You know what I mean? I think this Oklahoma defense is going to be legit, and I think that's exactly what you don't want to run into if you're a struggling Texas offense. And that's just kind of bad timing. Call it what you want to call it, what you will. Have you guys confirmed that Mateer is playing? I've seen him listed as questionable on Wednesday's injury report. So is that just pure optimism riding that he's going to play and rally? Because he's 17 days removed from surgery on his throwing hand.
I mean, this is literally message board Mike, over here talking about Chipotle this, Chipotle that. But, John Mateer's in line. This is a story that's well covered. It's not breaking news on Rent Money. It's that salacious goss. But John Mateer's in line to get his Chipotle, as college students do, as does running back Jones, too, on an occasional Tuesday for lunch.
He does.
Always get what's that little good stuff there?
Barbacoa?
The vinaigrette. No, the barbacoa, stick away. Stay so far away from the barbacoa.
Oh.
Do not go barbacoa.
I don't eat Chipotle, but to you and yours.
But long story short, he's in line. He gets asked, "Hey, John, you playing?" John gives him a very, very sturdy, "Yeah, I'm playing this weekend, buddy." Like, it's the Red River Rivalry.
What else would you say if you're in that position, though? Nah, man, I'm not playing.
We'll see.
I guess. Yeah,
I think
that's exactly what you would say.
Yeah,
that's a cliche. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I hope to be able to play. Like, we'll see. Like, maybe hoping to get there, or like a hard no if he's not planning on playing. If you're truly questionable, like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna make it this weekend, but I hope to. Like, we'll see. We're trying to. Nah, dude, he's coming in there. I heard he got double meat, double bowls, carried him out with both hands above his head. Said, "Look at this. Look at this. Look at me twirl him around like I'm a Circus Olay."
Double
and that's what John Mateer did. Yeah.
That's that NIL money talking.
Dude, if you had NIL money and you walk into fucking goddamn Chipotle to get your just normal standard lunch, you better buy the bar Chipotle. Everybody's Chipotle is on me. You're getting paid $1 million, dude, maybe more, to go walk around campus with a big swinging dick, dude. You better let people know you walk into Chipotle, they're getting their bowl for free. It's like that. Come on, it should be.
Would you eat at Chipotle ever if you had $1 million walking around on campus?
For sure.
Yeah, dude. What do you mean?
For sure. Yeah. You think you eat steaks every single meal?
I'd have a private chef at that point. Like,
dude, he's a 21-year-old. He probably has half it in escrow.
I would hope so.
Maybe more.
There's no way it's all liquid.
Either way, you're walking in Chipotle on me, fellas. But no double bowls. I gotta be frugal.
Cheese quesadillas for anyone in the building.
No guac. It's no guac, guys.
No guac is right. Any other thoughts on this game?
I got to play on it. I think coupling with the fact if Mateer does play, although it's still unconfirmed, they're probably going to be a bit conservative of him, especially early on. Test him out, see what they can do. Run the ball a little bit more. Texas's offense is just kind of floundering until they prove me otherwise. I'd be happy to. It'd be fun if they kind of turn that thing back up. But for a sloppy floppy play of the week, first half under 21.5. testing the waters, see where it lands, and then you can kind of, turn it up in the second half if need be. But I kind of like the line right there. I would only play it above that 21 number.
I think this game means more to the state of Oklahoma than it does to the state of Texas. I know that they just
Always
got their
has.
NBA
Always has.
championship. I know that Shea is there. I know that they feel pretty confident about the boys in blue when it comes to playing on the hardwood, but the university needs this one, especially after the poor performance for them in the playoffs from their softball team. I believe it was them, unless it was
the softball
Arkansas.
team
I'm getting
was going for like
confused
a
with,
5-peat.
but yeah, I think they shit the bed too. So I think this one means a lot, especially after the embarrassment that they would have experienced last year. I don't know. I feel like Jack, excuse me, run it back.
Jones.
If you were to look in the mirror right now
Jones
and think about the biggest embarrassment that ever happened to you, and you were then told, hey, on Saturday you get the chance to relive that exact moment, but with a better mind state, a better body. You're more physically capable, you're faster, you're stronger, and at the same time, that level of
let's say,
embarrassment, that
Chisholm, most of my
scenario,
embarrassments are of the mind, not of the body. The body's always been there. They call me Big Body Bones, Big
no,
Body
that
Jones,
don't
So the body
get
has
this
never been a
confused.
problem.
Yeah, I'm more so
Definitely
saying
not.
if given the opportunity to relive, a matter of the mind
The
in
mind
which,
and
the
sound,
body is more capable.
2020 hindsight. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Probably 30
for
come to
sure.
mind right off the bat. But that's okay.
30.
One's not more embarrassing than the other. They're all just equally very embarrassing. And that's just what I live with every day. As a self-loathing Catholic, Chisholm, we were born this way, born with original sin. Was born a sinner. You're not a self-loathing Irish Catholic, Chisholm?
I'm the self-loathing Irish
Oh,
Catholic,
okay. All
brother.
right. That's what I thought. All right. Okay. But yeah, I don't really know what the end all be all of that one was, but you live and you let die. That's what James Bond did.
I got a quick message board hit. This is some breaking news following the note that Bill Belichick is supposedly fully committed
I saw this.
to North Carolina football. But a certain Tar
What kind
Heel
of
wizard.
phone case do you have there, Chisholm? What was that, dude?
Well, duck camo.
Okay.
All right. But
Alright.
hold on. All right. That's
God
I
bless
think
you.
the
That's
first time
great.
a sneeze.
That's great
Is that
audio.
the first
That's good
sneeze?
podcasting.
First sneeze on the pod.
Thanks.
Is that the first sneeze we've ever had on here?
I've never done it without muting.
All right. Anyways, Tar Heel
Probably
wizard.
wouldn't be one of my top 30 embarrassing moments if I did.
No, it wouldn't. You're a better man than I. Tar Heel wizard. 49 minutes
Doesn't make
ago.
sense.
If UNC fires Coach Belichick, which we now know they won't, but here's where Chapel Hill is sitting on the matter, or they part ways before just after the season. UNC needs to overpay Marcus Freeman to become the next head coach. He is 39 years old and can both coach and recruit. Unless Notre Dame joins a football conference, they could more likely be looking on the outsider rather than the inside of the CFP, including this year. He then goes on to list multiple sources. This has been downvoted 6 times more than it's been upvoted.
Here's the thing, Chisholm.
I don't think it's worth discussing, but I do think it's worth acknowledging how
Russian
dumb.
bot, dude. That's got to be a Russian bot.
It's worth acknowledging how dumb North Carolina football fans are. They need to stick to basketball.
The Russian bots have infiltrated college football, and they're going to continue to infiltrate the demise of America as a society. How old is Marcus Freeman? 38? 39?
39. I just said that.
Well,
man.
only the best Notre Dame football coaches. Okay, he's at 39. Point being, Newt Rockne only lived to 43. So you got 4 more years left, maybe, for him.
That's because you love trains. And we all know trains take at least 10 years off your life. If you love trains, you die earlier. We all know this. It's science.
Dude, Newt Rockne died in Bizarre, Kansas. Did you know that's a place? Bizarre, Kansas. He hated Indiana so much, he left to go to Bizarre, Kansas to die.
I mean, Indiana's... It's called Bloody Kansas for a reason.
How did he die? Do we know? Or is
he
it
got hit by a train.
He went down on a plane in Bizarre, Kansas. He didn't choose to go down there, but he did go down there. Yeah, damn.
In a
Some of the
plane
best of
crash?
us have
Dude.
some of the best of us have died in
Buddy
plane crashes.
Holly, plane crashes in like
Jim
the
Croce,
early day
Leonard
was
Skinner.
crazy, dude.
That's why they took the trains.
Couldn't trust the
Oh my
planes.
God, that's
We
too
Are
good of a
Marshall.
joke. Yeah, We Are Marshall is insane.
The Wichita State 1971 football team.
Who was the guy that stole all that money and then disappeared?
DB.
DB Cooper.
DB
Cooper.
Cooper. There you go.
Yeah.
His plane went down.
I think he just jumped out.
He jumped.
Yeah, that's what they say, but I think it just went down, dog. That's a
I
whole
think it
different
also
podcast.
went down though, because then anyways, you can
We'll
catch
do
that
that
on
next episode.
the Bunk Boys. Bunk Boys.
Yeah, the Bunk
episode
Boys to
4.
break that one down.
Bunkhouse Boys.
Bunkhouse Boys.
Don't get it twisted. Go look it up. Just scroll down like
It's
a
in
lot
there.
from where
It's
you're
in there.
listening right
I
now.
actually
Yeah,
will
we're
have
there.
to go back.
And we genuinely tried. But Taylor Sheridan made that dog shit of a product season 5 that I couldn't even watch it anymore. I've
Dude,
yet to finish
Texas
season
Pete, they
5.
had to get they brought on a guy, dude. It was floundering. After a few episodes, they had to bring on a guy that his name was Machete.
Who's
I'm
that's his
still
name.
friends with Machete. Machete gave me these boots that I'm wearing right now. These are brand new to Cobas. I just
Bunkhouse
whipped that
boys
off of
stay
my
together.
foot.
Wow.
I'm still friends with Machete.
Don't talk
too.
shit about Machete. He's the pride of Spirit Lake.
This isn't even talking shit. That's a cool name. When shit goes down, you bring on a guy with the name Machete and just hope it gets
All right.
better.
I'm done derailing. I've had my fun.
Well, guys, it might not seem like it, but we have the game of the week here in the Big Ten. Indiana at Oregon. Oregon 7.5-point favorites, 55.5. Indiana obviously survived a thriller in Manila with Iowa. Not Manila, but Iowa City. And Oregon just keeps running. I mean, Dan Lanning and Chisholm, what do you say? Dan Lanning and somebody else and myself will make a love child. But this
Ron
is going to be a good
Livingston.
game. Yeah, Dan Lanning, Ron Livingston, and myself. Or maybe I'm the love child of Dan Lanning and Ron Livingston. Wouldn't that be a gem? Yeah, Indiana at Oregon. We're at 50 minutes into the pod. If you're still with us, appreciate you. And let's just rip this one.
If you're not still with us, you
Then
don't
you're
deserve
against
to be.
us.
Yeah. Get out of here.
But if you're hearing this, you obviously are. So
Heisman favorites matchup in here. Sneaky. I don't know what they were preseason. I guarantee you Mendoza wasn't up there. Maybe Dante Moore was, but both these guys are top 5 in the favorites right now, and both of them deserving so. 1,200 yards across both of them. Each of them have over 14 touchdowns passing, a couple more rushing. It's just a matter of what Eugene, impossibly hard place to play in. You know what I mean? So you have a real road test, and I think Indiana and the Hoosiers kind of got a glimpse of that in Iowa City. I'd like to think maybe that's patting ourselves on the back a little bit, but I don't think it's going to quite stack up to what's going to be waiting for them in Eugene this weekend. Full 7.5-point dogs on the road. Totals at 55.5. What team for this Hoosier program is going to show up? Is it going to be the team that absolutely pounced on the Illinois team a couple weeks back? Or is it going to be the offense that kind of, was a bit stagnated in the second half, but ultimately pulled it out against Iowa? I don't know. Oregon's kind of a wagon, though. You'd have to be crazy to bet against them, but I kind of am because I like the line, which makes me think it's kind of a sucker line. So I don't know. It's 7.5, man. That's big. That hook is massive. I'd be curious to hear if either one of you are going to make a case for Oregon other than being at home and just kind of rolling.
What's the best win that Oregon has on the year? Penn State?
Penn State in overtime on the road.
All right. Well,
whiteout game. Dude, that's a big win, even if Penn State sucks.
Okay.
110,000
all I'm
strong
going to say is
It's like beating Iowa in a night game.
UCLA didn't need 2 overtimes to do
talent.
that. UCLA didn't need 2 overtimes to beat Oregon. They just needed regulation and the prodigal son. Right? Or am I wrong? They were both road.
Lanning's got the best offensive line in the country. They put up 41
no
points.
doubt,
The defense
no doubt.
could have been better, but
I do not, and I do not want to come in here and trash Oregon or Dan Lanning. I have nothing but respect for Dan Lanning as a man and as a coach. The state of Oregon, however, I have no respect for. Outside of the beauty and Bannon Trails, or Bannon Dunes, sorry. What do you got?
Where's the disrespect?
Portland?
Chisholm?
Portland?
I'm kind of with him here.
What is happening in Oregon that I should give 2 fucks about, other than Dan Lanning as a
Nike?
man? Nike?
Yeah.
I was an Adidas kid growing up.
Weird.
Not because
I'm
I
with you.
wanted to
Adidas.
be.
Dude, Chisholm
Not 'cause I
walked around
wanted
and
to
go
be.
Adidas. I went around like this. A1.
My mom didn't want us having Nike Shocks because she knew our feet were growing, and they were an expensive shoe that we did not need to have at the time. I'll say this. I understand fully that Dan Lanning is I think we could say he's probably the best coach in all of college football. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say since Saban retired. Like, does he have his natty? No. But like he
has one with Georgia. Defense coordinator. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't count, but it counts.
Okay. I'll give credit where it's due. But I will say this. I'm more impressed by Signetti than I am by Dan Lanning.
Yeah, but it's not about who you're more impressed by. I think Oregon's gonna freaking roll, dude. They got the tail of the tape on their side.
All I'm saying is Vegas
good. This Indiana team has metal.
Vegas started this game at a 14-point opening favorite for Oregon. It's gone down to 7.5. That's an entire touchdown difference.
When did it open?
Take.
How long ago was that? Like a month ago?
Probably a long time.
Before the 70-point beatdown against Illinois.
I'm seeing it at 7.5 still, but or 7.5 open, 7.5 still.
All right,
regardless,
my fault.
I don't know if I am mentally prepared if Indiana somehow pulls this out to put them in the conversations with the Michigans. Put them in the conversations with the Ohio
I'll put them ahead
State,
of Michigan.
The Oregon.
I'm willing. Michigan is
won a
the
championship
most
2 years ago, dude. What are we talking about right now?
Legally?
Are we talking about programs or are we talking about teams, Pete?
I'm talking about current
teams
day
and programs are 2 different
and
things.
taking them seriously.
I'm not going to put them in the program.
Taking them very seriously. Like if they can somehow pull this out on the road, that's going to be massive. Not only for this season, but going forward. It's
Here's
like
the
you're going
problem.
to have to
If you're
talk
an
about
Indiana
football.
fan, what you want to happen is Signetti's 62 now, 63. He's old. He looks young because he dyes his hair black because he's an egomaniac. But he's getting
for
old.
Sure.
You almost want like a year or 2 of like, we're really good, but maybe not great. You don't want any good job openings to pop up either. And then you just trap him. You trap him hard. You know, you get him in there like a little raccoon, like Chisholm ran over earlier in the episode. And then he's stuck there because all of a sudden he's 65, 66. Nobody wants to hire this guy away to come coach whatever program you come up with, right? Like whether it's Sharon Moore leaves Michigan or Franklin leaves Penn State or any of these other teams where you could see Signetti, wait, this guy's 65 now. Is this really the guy we're going to go with? We're maybe looking for more of a hot Dan Lanning type, you know?
Yeah,
but
Sharon Moore's not a coach.
You're going to try
Sharon
and
Moore's
trap
a
this guy.
figurehead. Like,
okay,
without Harbaugh, Michigan's nothing.
Just boys talking sports. Pete, you riding with Indiana?
I'm either going to look like the smartest guy in the room or I'm going to be the fool.
It's only a 50-50
I think I am.
I'm fully on
like
Indiana.
The hook. I like the hook.
I'm so in on Indiana, and they simply know how to win. Like this is it does not matter if it's a close game. If they want to blow you out, then they have the opportunity to do it. They will. Fernando Mendoza has been one of the most impressive players in all of college football that no one wants to talk about, but it's time that he gets his flowers. He was impressive last year. He took this team to a playoff. Like, we're talking about Indiana.
Who? Mendoza? He wasn't the starting quarterback last year.
Oh, yeah, Rourke. My bad. Year. I thought Mendoza got some games. Did he not get some playtime last year?
No, he transferred in. Where did he come from?
UCLA, no? Or am I making that up? That's
he kind of feels like a Rourke, though. I feel like I've seen this exact player before.
Obviously,
here we go.
Yeah, I was going to say,
showing our ass here on this one. Come on, Wi-Fi. All right, Chisholm, filibuster, please.
Filibuster, yes, sir. The new bonsai burger. It's actually
not UCLA,
not new,
Cal,
but
very similar.
Cal.
The Calgorithm last year.
The Calgorithm.
Yeah.
All right, breaking it down some numbies
big-
here. Fifth
Give us
ranked
the
offense,
numbies.
Indiana. Seventh ranked
Kyle Schwarber.
defense, Oregon. Both these guys just phenomenal rushing yards per game. If Indiana's going to be able to run the ball effectively, I feel like that's going to be massive for the 7.5 point spread. Their fifth rushing offense, averaging 267 yards per game, and that's probably the only chink in the Oregon defense is they let up 115 per game, ranked 39th in FBS.
No pun
Are
intended.
they going to be able to run the ball? Is Mendoza going to be able to step up and do what he has shown across 2 big games so far this year? I'm gonna be taking the hook 7.5.
And Dante
He's
Moore,
late.
UCLA transfer. There you go. So you got the UC. Hey, this
There
is
it
like
is.
college football. All it is just like connecting the dots. You got UCLA versus Cal because both these guys get recruited in the same system into those California schools. They're both going to leave.
What do we say? Never wrong. We're just early.
Never wrong, just early. I'm riding with Dan Lanning. That's just all I do on this podcast. You see Oregon on the slate. I'm just going to pick Oregon. Usually works out.
Is this another
Not always,
under spot?
usually.
I feel like all of the other, unless
Yes,
it's like
I
an
think
SEC
it is, Chisholm.
game,
55.5 is really high.
like this is a Big Ten football game. I understand that many people don't really associate Oregon with that brand of football yet. I think this game is going to solidify the fact that they do, because Indiana has been putting up points all year, but as soon as they go on the road to Iowa, what was that score? 20-15. Like,
Yeah, brutal.
it's a dogfight, dude. You're every down, every yard means more in an in-conference Big Ten game. The SEC could never understand. They just give yards away for free. 40 to what was the Georgia Tennessee score? 44-40.
Yeah,
My
something like that. It
ass.
was
My
basically
ass.
a shootout. All right, Michigan at
Never.
USC. USC's 2.5 point favorites. Ratty, stinky line. 57.5 is the over. Real quick, either of you guys got a side on this one, and we'll keep moving because we still got Chisholm story time and Texas Pete's joy.
All I want to say on this game is that I hope both teams lose.
No, I don't have a play on it either, but it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Give me the under. The line is so stinky, I'm going to stay away. So I want to take
57.5.
Michigan. Everybody who looks at this line wants to take Michigan, so I'm just going to stay away because I don't even think USC really has a home field advantage besides the fact that you're traveling, 3.5 hour flight going out to the West Coast. You're not at home. Being on the road is more than just what the crowd can bring. And that's one of those situations here with the travel out to the USC. How about these Big Ten coaches? Anytime they lose a game where they have to travel more than 2.5 hours, they just bitch and moan like, whoa, we're traveling. These guys, it's literally, they create these situations for themselves. It just drives me nuts. Oh, you guys were greedy? You guys want more money? You guys want more teams in the conference? Fucking A, you're going to have to travel. Is this shocking to you? You get UCLA in the conference. You're shocked. You're surprised. You're going to have to go to UCLA to play a football game. Like, whoa, like, call me crazy. These guys are fucking out of their minds. James Franklin's one of the biggest offenders every year. Anytime they lose, it's never James Franklin's fault. Never once has James Franklin had a look in the mirror moment. I hate him.
Also at a time when traveling has never been more luxurious for collegiate athletes. These guys are
Literally.
flying on their own chartered plane. They have meals in there. They have everything they need. They're getting shuttled to and from the airport.
They're not on the trains.
New
Notre Dame
Rocky
plays
did
USC
this
every
shit
year.
on trains in the 40s, dude. Like, this means nothing to me. Notre Dame's been doing this. Notre Dame has literally been doing this for goddamn near a century. And you're going to look me in the eyes and tell me that you have a disadvantage? Go fuck yourself, honestly. Like, you're the softest person I know if you can look your team in the eyes after speaking to the media about how hard your life is for needing to get on a fucking airplane.
Hey, did any of you guys know anybody growing up that like played a D1 sport? Like when you were maybe like 8 or 9 or 10 years old?
Amara.
I'm not trying to like play a catch. Like this isn't a get you game. Point being, like growing up, you'd have a couple of these guys go play D1. You'd hear them come back. They talk about the training tables. They're like, "Oh, dude, the training tables. They put me on 30 pounds in like a week because that's all we'd eat. The training tables is where they would go to get their food. It's not where you go to get stretched out. It's just where all the athletes would get extra, like additional food and calories. But it wasn't anything special. It wasn't like you had a private chef. It literally just meant you just had like a little separate side area where you could just go get more heavy calorie doses where they'd be like, here's your fucking slop of mashed potatoes and country gravy with some turkey. It was basically Thanksgiving meal every time you'd go to eat. And that's all the training tables were. Nowadays, I don't even know what these guys are doing because I think they have them on such specified, like rabbit style food plans. It's actually insane. But yeah, growing up, I just thought, yeah, being a D1 athlete meant you just got like copious amounts of food. Not like there wasn't already all you could eat buffet service in college. I thought you could only get that if you were a D1 athlete, just going in there and fattening yourself up. But
Always thought of like Augustus Gloop just sitting there, just fucking munching on everything, Yeah.
a winner, chicken dinner. All right, guys. We covered 3 games. We did our best to get through it, but we're a bunch of chatty Cathys. Call us Kathy. Chisholm, why don't you give us a little story time, huh?
Yeah, I'll do this one a little quick. I've been derailing this episode like nobody's business, but
derailing it. Good thing you weren't on Newt Rackney's team.
I want to say the amount of train puns I like to throw out. I'm glad you're picking them up. So for those of you who are in a fantasy football league of any kind, this is a fun little shout out to you. This is one league in particular. I'm playing in only 3 this year. But this one league that I'm in is with a group of buddies that, I had the pleasure of being in the same fraternity with, went to school with, good group of guys. And our commissioner this year had an idea that the lowest scoring team from the week prior would front the parlay, of which we would throw $10.
Classic.
That's on them. They got last place. It's on them. But each member of the league would then throw out a leg or a pick for the parlay itself. We started this tradition this year. Last week being week 5 for the NFL. We found our way to the cash cow quicker than most would think. I want to go ahead and read off to all of you this 11-leg parlay that was thrown because one of the members of the league is a greedy bitch who does not understand the prospect of sportsmanship, and just said to throw Dak Prescott for anytime touchdown because he's a Cowboys fan and a fucking loser. But Taylor, if you see this, I'm upset with you, but there were 11 plays.
When you read these plays off, like as a bystander that saw the ticket and saw the hit, each one, you just kind of see it. Obviously, it's after the fact where they all hit, but you look at them and you kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, that one hits. Oh, okay,
that makes sense.
Sure, that one will hit. And it's like, yeah, sorry, continue.
So there's a couple in here that, like, for sure, you're on that wavelength. For instance, Javonte Williams, Garrett Wilson, J.K. Dobbins, Devon Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Nico Collins. Those are all anytime touchdown scores that were thrown out. But then you get to the money lines, and this is where it gets weird. New Orleans Saints. Were they playing a tough opponent? No, they were playing the Jets, but we still tossed the money line on that.
They were favored.
Another one this is the one I suggested to throw personally was the Carolina Panthers, who were taking on the Miami Dolphins. Solid 14-point fourth quarter in order to get the W for them. The biggest one, I forget who tossed this one out, but somebody threw the Denver Broncos money line, who were going on the road to Philly, taking on the reigning champs, undefeated up until that point. Broncos found a way to get it done, and they pulled it out. The last one being the Tennessee Titans, in which we had the spread. This was not a money line play. We had 7.5. However, for those of you at home, the only way that this covered was because of the interception and then fumble that got kicked into the end zone that was recovered by a wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. In order to get that, they later, of course, came back down the field, kicked a field goal, and won outright. But the electricity in the air, because all of the previous 9 plays out of this 11 were all from the noon slate. And so we kind of realized, oh shit, this thing is not just alive, but it's alive and well. The Tennessee Titans were really all that we were concerned about, making a fairly large assumption on Gibbs.
At this point, you're 8 of 11. Is that right?
9 of 11. Shout out.
9 of 11. Never forget. Was there any thought of a cash out at this point?
There was when we realized that it was on the Titans. go, but by the time we went to check the
There wasn't
score, it
really
was
a
already
good
there
cash
was. I
option.
think the cash out that we were initially given was $9.50, and so DraftKings had zero faith in the Titans. Gibbs also hadn't scored at that point. He scored in the second half, I'm pretty sure. So things were looking dire for a while. I was upset that I had to even watch the Cardinals and the Titans play a football game. But by the grace of God, Amari DiMercado fumbling at the goal line, and then an interception that became a fumble, that became a touchdown. We saw it through. We made it happen, and each member after tax will be able to receive about
Chisholm, I
$1,200.
had $20 on Texas Pete Survivor League. Could I get $20 just knowing that that was your success and my loss in his Survivor
We
League
will
being on
see.
Cardinals?
We will see as a co-reigning champion along with Mrs. Pete for this
Mrs.
Survivor League.
Pete is actually you only get two entries unless it's shadowed entry through your significant other. Fucking horseshit.
But Mrs. Pete is a certified go-getter.
Look at his face.
She is an absolute stallion, and she's a sharp. So I think it's time to give credit where credit's due.
I've never
Pete
seen
knows
Mrs.
ball.
I've never seen Mrs. Pete and Mr. Pete put the same team in the same weekend, huh? All right.
I've also, and I'll take it even a step further, I've never even met Mrs. Pete. So I can tell you for a fact that she's got it going on. She knows ball, and she's a sharp. So, credit to where credit's due.
We'll
did
cut that out,
survive
Pete.
though.
You're good.
We took the Detroit Lions. So I'll continue to rock this thing out, and I'll see Mrs. Pete when it comes time to splitting the pot once again. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's my
Mrs. Pete
story.
has made it further than me in Survivor every single season thus far. I think this is my best success, and I got out in week 5.
You had the
Chisholm, that was an
cards too?
absolute. That was ridiculous. Crazy move.
Yeah, that was a horseshit loss.
We're all happy for you, Chisholm. That is a sweet win, huge win.
Killer.
This actually leads me into also a Texas Pete-ism here. You guys had to withhold out of the $20,000 you won, $6,000 for taxes. Texas Pete has some really good thoughts around taxes when it comes to gambling. I've seen him put it succinctly into text. Maybe he can do it verbally. He's looking at me like he doesn't know, but I can maybe talk about it for him. He's put this into my head.
Grease it on a little bit. Get it
Well,
rolling.
you go to work, you work hard, you bring your your lunch pail, your shovel.
Yeah.
You do the good work, you're gonna get taxed. You come home with 70% of what you put in.
Yep. Yeah. So you get taxed on the money that you make through your job, your salary, right? Income tax. You get taxed on every wager you place in the state of Illinois. There's a 50-cent tax for our Illinois listeners. And you get taxed if you're fortunate enough on the winnings, which is just absurd. We need to have our own FanDuel tea party or some shit like that, sportsbook tea party, because this taxation is just ridiculous. It's like best case scenario, you get taxed that $6,000 or something like that.
Yeah, the one time you win, you're gonna get taxed out the ass. It's like I don't get tax relief on my losses. You should.
Yeah, God forbid the government does anything to actually help citizens of the country. I remember there was once a time where we overthrew a tyrant government over a 3% sales tax on ink.
Some things that I think would
used
be
to be
nice if
America.
the government helped us out, Chisholm. Maybe they could give us health care. Maybe it'd be awesome if they could help you out with school. No, I'm just gonna try and get Chisholm riled up here. But
no, I have no problem with those things.
Oh, nice.
They obviously, but like all I'm saying is, we entrusted them to deal with the roadways and the infrastructure, and how did that turn out?
Oh no, dude. God, we're diving into a hole here, but shout out Ford, shout out General Motors, shout out all the other large American four-wheel companies that made it very difficult to get around this country without owning a vehicle, which I do not, but that's a story for another day. Texas Pete, on the flip side, you wanted to tell us a little bit about some of the joys of life, some of the besides winning a $20,000 bet, there's other joys that are out there.
That's a pretty damn good one, and I hope that I experience that joy this weekend because it's a big weekend for me. Life is pretty freaking cool, man. It's pretty freaking cool. You're bouncing around weekend after weekend. You're going to some friends' wedding. You're going to visit some friends. You're going on a trip with the missus down to the beach. It's a blast. You're doing all these things, and you are so busy often, and you're obviously watching a ton of college football in between. But that one sacred weekend, I have a free weekend coming up here, and I am absolutely stoked for it. No plans, nothing going on. I haven't even, it's a long weekend too, because Columbus Day is on Monday. So I
You
have a
get that
long
off?
3-day
You're a
weekend.
banker boy.
Yeah. So long 3-day weekend, absolutely no plans. Mrs. Pete is out of town, so I get the choice of anything that I want to do. And I am just fired up about it. Like I get ignited by the joy of not having to do anything, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to fill my weekend. Not saying I'm just going to be sitting around the house, which, you know, a portion of it I absolutely will, but like just sometimes letting the plans naturally come to you are the best experiences that you can have. So I'm trying to find a way to, I guess, not fill it, but you know, whatever I get into this weekend, we'll let you guys know.
You
But
kind
having
of
that
feel like
free weekend
you're
is killer.
you kind of feel like you're young again. You know, because especially before the wedding beat starts, and you know maybe your buddy's having a kid, so you got to go to their first birthday. Shout out Braxton. But
Shut up, Braxton.
shout him out.
Shut up,
And
Braxton.
yeah, it makes you feel young again by the fact of like it went from being so simple to these weekends are full of plans that are scheduled. Like we got a calendar recently that we put on our fridge that we did not have previously, but it feels like we got to the point where like, all right, calendar on the fridge because we got shit going on and it's nice to know what is going on. It used to be Friday, 3:30. You kind of just hoping, like you're kind of hoping, but you're not sure. But maybe you'll see. Maybe some plans will come together. And
And
that's
these
something that's been a while.
and these free weekends, it just so happens that whenever you wake up on that Saturday, it's always a crisp and clear fall Saturday. The sun is
Go get a
shining.
coffee, dude.
You
Oh,
get a coffee, you grab a bagel, Sammy, you sit
bagel.
down, you have college football game day on the TV, you crack your first beer, or personally, I like having liquor first thing in the morning, on these type of Saturdays. So I'll pour
What
myself up a little
kind? What
transfusion,
kind of
just
Shout
something
out
liquor?
like
to
that.
Bert Kreischer. Yeah, look at this guy.
Well, no, you pour yourself up a little tranny at like, I don't know, 11 o'clock, you know, 10:45, 11 o'clock after you walk the dog and you do what you got to do. And then you sit down, you sit on your phone, you're scrolling through the lines, which if you listen to this podcast, you could probably lock in the lines a lot sooner than that. But sometimes just looking at an empty board is when you do your best gambling. And
Yeah.
I really hope that's going to be the case for us this weekend. You
You
call
know,
your
I'm a
buddies, you hop on the horn, couple different guys, see what they like, because you have all the time in the world and nothing to do.
I have a thought on this. Specifically an empty Saturday, right? Clear board, a clear schedule, a clear mind, right? Ultimately, what this comes down to is having a clear mind, a clear thought process, and the ability to just sit back and enjoy the show. I think there's a lot of negativity floating in the world today. Not on a clear schedule weekend, right? All you have up
Mm-mm.
here, sunshine, rainbows, and what can I do so that the missus also gets to enjoy her day and give me a little bit of space to be able to guilt-free watch this slate, right? Maybe I'm going to get up a little bit earlier than normal. Maybe I'm going to make breakfast. Maybe I order in, right? But when I'm enjoying that AM cocktail, the only thing better than a tranny is a double tranny. And in that moment, I can look out, I can see the world, I can look at myself very much unlike James Franklin ever could. And I can look in that mirror and I can say, you're the man. We're the man. What's happening here, what's happening in this moment is biblical. It is divine. It was given to you by God himself. And who am I? Who am I to not answer that call, to not ring that bell, to not stand up and get excited and shout a little bit, but then come back down, nestle back into the couch, kind of lean back a little bit. And then, oh shit, big third down here. I'm right back up. And it's important You get back up, you come down. You get back up, you come down. It's like a good Stevie Ray Vaughan song. That's what a clear schedule weekend should feel like. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, but a whole lot of double trannies. Shout out to Texas Pete. Enjoy it, brother.
You know me. I like simple pleasures, like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth. But that's just me. That's just something I enjoy. Call me crazy, call me a pervert, but there's one little thing that I'm going to do in this life, and that is I'm going to make $1 and I'm going to make a cent in this business. And that's how I feel on a Saturday morning when I got nothing to do, baby. Come on. A little muddy. That's Monday through Friday. I go get myself a chai latte when it comes to Saturday, man. Go to your most hipster bullshit coffee bar, order yourself a chai latte, and get crazy.
Caffeine buzz, first thing you got to do on these type of days. You got to get up on the caffeine. You gotta have some sort of grease in you. It's got to be bacon or it's got to be pork sausage.
I like the pork sausage. Bacon can be a little bit of a messy process.
Could be, because then you don't want to do
it can
dishes.
Be sloppy
that
toppy,
could happen the day too.
Loppy.
Gotta know. I have to know now because you just said a chai latte.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the first coach that comes to your mind when it comes to this guy would order a chai latte? First coach. Don't think about it too much.
Cliff Kingsbury.
First guy.
Right. Good poll. That's a good poll.
I was just trying to think of any coach that wears like still like overly tight joggers like to the ankles. Like that's kind of like who. That's not me. And I like a chai latte, but that's who I was thinking of stereotypically.
Dude, Freeman kind of gives chai latte vibes.
Freeman likes his little joggers too.
He loves his joggers, dude.
But he likes his muscle shirts, dude. Muscle shirts,
dude,
like the ass. Muscle long sleeves.
Dude, the population sample of college football coaches that drink chai lattes is like just so significantly smaller than the rest of the general population.
Yeah, but you know, Monday to Friday, I drink a straight black muddy. Nothing to it.
Muddy.
The shittier it is, the better it is, the more I like it.
Ooh, that's good.
That UCLA guy that just got carried off the field for sure.
New latte guy.
For sure has had a few in his day.
He likes the cinnamon spice and a little brown sugar.
Lincoln Riley
moved to LA so
sure.
that he wouldn't be judged as much for ordering chai lattes as he was in Norman. That's probably the only reason he took the job.
I could kind of see Lane Kiffin dabbling in the chai space.
Yeah, 100%. And he would be a real prick about it, too, if you gave him a hard time.
So, yeah, can I get a little tempo for the guy after me? And I'll take a chai latte.
And this guy, he's going to date my daughter all the pee he wants.
We have fun here at Rent Money.
Well, that's our show.
Bow on this beer.
Chisholm already did a nice one. We're going to ask him to do it again and get us out of here. You can do it one more time, Chisholm. Put one more on it.
I'm going to give you guys a talk.
Make us emotional.
Real quick one. Give me 30 seconds. This is the exact talk that my father had with me when it came time to learning about the birds and the bees.
Normal amount of time, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sex, son, is a lot like a Reese's peanut butter cup. You got chocolate and you got peanut butter, and they're both great on their own, you know, but when you put them together, something magic happens. All right. That's exactly what you got ahead of you right here, because I believe that's this weekend. Am I wrong, Texas Pete? You got a free weekend right here, right now.
That's right.
Brother, you got chocolate and you got peanut butter with the slate, you know? Yeah. All right. Put them together. Okay. And right before you kick off on all of that, right before you get your chai latte, your double transfusion, whatever you fancy, go ahead and tell your bookie that we say hi. Cheers.
Where do you put the peanut butter?